Hello and welcome to Your World This Week, the weekly roundup for all the top news stories of the week. The top news stories this week are:
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's Budget 2021 speech, which ran into 17,031 words, holds several new ideas to get the economy going again. Markets breathed a collective sigh of relief as Sitharaman read through the direct taxation part of her Union Budget 2021-22 speech on Monday. Sitharaman said this budget was prepared under circumstances like never before, referring to disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Amidst the pandemic, the healthcare budget of 2.23 lakh crores has been allocated for financial year 2022, which is 137% higher than the budget estimate for financial year 21. In 2021-22, Rupees 35,000 crore has been earmarked for the COVID-19 vaccination program. India's nominal gross domestic product is estimated to grow by 14.4% in financial year 2022. The PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana will be launched with an outlay of Rs 64,180 crore over 6 years. Sitharaman said the scheme will develop capacities of primary, secondary and tertiary care healthcare systems and strengthen existing national institutions. Another announcement made by Nirmala Sitharaman was a voluntary vehicle scrappage policy where passenger vehicles will undergo the fitness tests after 20 years and commercial vehicles will undergo the test after 15 years. The move will bring relief to the automotive sector. There is good news for senior citizens who are above the age of 75 years and have only pension and interest income. They are now exempt from filing income tax returns. Income tax rebate of Rs 1.5 lakhs for affordable home loans will continue until March 2022. As far as public sector banks are concerned, they will receive fresh capital infusion of Rs 20,000 crore in 2021 and 22. Fiscal deficit has been pegged at 9.5% of the GDP in financial year 21 and 6.8% in financial year 22. Sitharaman said the government will approach the market for an additional 80,000 crore rupees. The upcoming census will be the first to be conducted digitally, for which 3,758 crores has been allocated. A development financial institution will be created to fund infrastructure projects for which 20,000 crore rupees has been set aside. A bill in this regard will be tabled in the Parliament's current session. Against the backdrop of the ongoing farmers' protests, the centre raised the farm credit target for financial year 2022 to 16.5 lakh crore from 15 lakh crore in 2020-21. Customs duty on some parts like mobile phones has been raised to 2.5% from 0. For 2021-22, the disinvestment target has been set at 1.7 lakh crore rupees. This includes the centre reducing its stake in 2 state-owned banks and a general insurance company and large-scale asset sales. It will also include the listing of Life Insurance Corporation of India and proposed privatization of major state-run companies such as Air India and Bharat Petroleum Corporation. As far as foreign direct investment limit in insurance companies is concerned, they will be raised from 74% from 49%. And agriculture, infrastructure and development cess on petrol, diesel, alcoholic beverages, gold, silver, crude, soya bean and a few other commodities has been imposed. However, this will not impact consumers. Moving on now to Myanmar's military coup. The Myanmar military on Monday declared a state of emergency in the country for 1 year, hours after detaining civilian leaders including State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi and President U Win Myint. India said it is closely monitoring the situation and called for restoration of the democratic process. In the early morning raids, Aung San Suu Kyi, U Win Myint and other senior officials have been detained by the military. The United Nations Security Council on Thursday expressed deep concern over the military coup in Myanmar and called for the immediate release of Suu Kyi, Win Myint and other leaders who were arbitrarily detained. The 15-member council, which is the most powerful organization, of the governing body issued a statement on Thursday, 3 days after the military seized power in the Southeast Asian country. The US is in constant touch with regional allies like India and Japan on the latest developments in Naypyidaw, as the two countries have better contact with the military in the Southeast Asian nation. Shifting focus to the farmers' agitation in India, which made international headlines as the movement gained attention, with international celebrities standing up in support of the agitation. Soon after American pop singer Rihanna tweeted about the ongoing farmers' protests in India, several other prominent international celebrities and activists have also extended their support to the farmer-led movement against the centre's contentious new farm laws. The Ministry of External Affairs soon issued a statement slamming foreign individuals and entities for comments on the ongoing farmer protests and said it is unfortunate to see vested interest groups trying to enforce their agenda on these protests and derail them. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg also took to Twitter to share a news story about the internet shutdowns in Delhi. "We stand in solidarity with the farmers' protests in India," the teen activist tweeted. Several other celebrities have also lent their voices to the ongoing protests and condemned the crackdown on farmers in the national capital. Among them was US Vice President Kamala Harris's niece, Meena Harris, who tweeted, "We all should be outraged by India's internet shutdowns and paramilitary violence against farmer protesters." Other than this, Bharatiya Kisan Union leader Rakesh Tikait on Friday said that the Chakka Jam, or blocking of roads as a form of protest, which is planned on February 6th, will not take place in Delhi but will be done in other parts of the National Capital Region and the rest of the country, including the southern states. Meanwhile, after the US State Department backed the centre's contentious new farm laws but flagged the internet restrictions in and around protest sites, the Ministry of External Affairs said that the violence at Red Fort on Republic Day evokes similar sentiments in India as the recent siege on Capitol Hill. Addressing the issue of internet restrictions, the government said that it was done to prevent further violence. The temporary measures with regard to internet access in certain parts of the NCR region were therefore understandably undertaken to prevent further violence, it added. Moving on now to the coronavirus updates in the country. India has reported a total of 1,08,02,591 COVID-19 positive cases, with 12,408 new cases reported in the last 24 hours, according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on Friday. Meanwhile, as many as 49,59,445 people have been vaccinated against COVID-19 across the country so far. The second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine will be administered to healthcare workers from February 13th, and 97% of people who have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine are satisfied, according to the central government. Meanwhile, a total of 19,99,31,795 samples have been tested for COVID-19 up to February 4th, according to the Indian Council of Medical Research, or ICMR. Moving on now to other news. After the storm of protests on various issues, including the ongoing farmers' protests which reigned in India over the last few months, some states have come up with a directive to deal with people who are involved in anti-national activities, be it online or offline. The Uttarakhand and Bihar police have decided to scrutinize social media behavior before giving their clearance for people applying for passports. Uttarakhand DGP Ashok Kumar said on Thursday that the online behavior of passport applicants needs to be scrutinized to stop misuse of social media platforms. Shifting focus to the Parliament, where the budget session commenced on January 29th with the President's address and the Union Budget, which was then presented on February 1st. The session will conclude on April 8th with a recess in between from February 15th to March 8th. The President delivered his annual address to a joint sitting of both houses of Parliament on January 29th. The economic survey was also tabled in both houses. Meanwhile, the opposition chose to boycott the President's address over the ongoing farmers' protests. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar on Friday said that nothing is wrong in the farm laws but instead in farmers' protests. He reiterated that crop growers were being provoked, especially in Punjab. The minister also took a jibe at opposition and thanked them for leaving no stone unturned to criticize the government and said that he had been asking every protester what's black in the laws but hasn't got an answer except constant demand to repeal the laws. On the first day of the match between India and England in Chennai, Indian skipper Virat Kohli's heartwarming gesture towards England captain Joe Root just before the concluding minutes of the play has taken the internet by storm. After smashing a six off Ravichandran Ashwin's last ball of the 87th over, Root went down on the floor with a cramp. England physio was out to help the skipper, but before he reached, it was India captain Kohli who helped Root with stretching of his right leg. The spirit of cricket gesture by Kohli certainly won the hearts of the fans. The Board of Control for Cricket in India also shared the clip on Twitter, captioning it as "Spirit of Cricket at its very best." Meanwhile, Root and Dom Sibley put England in control of the first test, forming a stunning 200-run partnership on the opening day. At stumps, England's score read 263 for 3, with Root playing on 128 runs. However, India ended the day on a high as Jasprit Bumrah dismissed Sibley at 87 in the 90th over. And here's a viral video of the week.
Thank you so much for all the amazing follows. I can't even understand how you guys are blowing up. Whoa! Man, these guys are giving me a...
Hope you liked this edition of Your World This Week. We will be back next week with yet another episode of Your World This Week. Have a good day.